So call us with your diesel questions, 859-355-9002. Not a whole lot of new today. We launched our fuel additive today on the website. Thoroughbred diesel power shot. That is $8.95, and it is on the again, it's on the homepage of the website. Just went out today. What else do we have going on right now? We're going to do some giveaways today. I think I didn't get to talk to Adam a whole lot about it, but I think we're giving away 3 hats today. We're going to give away all three hats. These are Alliant Power hats, and we're giving these away today to kind of help them with their launch on a new product that they've got. They are coming out, or they have came out with a new filter wrench that fits the Ford 7.3, 6.0, and 6.4 applications for the fuel filter and the oil filter cap. Actually, it fits all of those. I don't have the part number because I'm trying to get on the website here and find it real quick. I should have had it. I think it was an AP0061. But if the Alliant guys are on there, maybe they can.
It's not 6.1, it's 7.1.
7.1, 6.1 or 7.1, I think.
I was thinking it was 17, but you might be right on the.
So it's under tools for those 3 platforms on our website, and the cap socket is part number AP0147. Again, that works for the 7.3s, the 6.0s, 6.4s. It'll work with the Navistar applications. I think I saw Corey say on Snapchat that it'll work with some VW stuff or something like that, but we don't know. But
I didn't actually see him say that, so he might have, but I don't know that for sure.
$37.10 for it.
What was the part number?
AP0147 is the part number for the socket. So no, I think we both screwed that one up. I wish I had one in here to show you, but we don't have one. But we're going to give away some Alliant Power, so Alliant Power's on the on your mind here. Give away. Those are nice hats. That's actually the nicest hat we've ever had.
That's the nicest hat we get of all of them. So we'll do it for
leather front, camouflage on the back.
We'll do it for the call-ins, I guess.
We might as well take one of them and give them to our history buff buddy that if he shows up today.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll show up.
So.
All right, let's start off with Zach. Zach's always a viewer anyway, so we'll go with him. He's asked a bunch of questions in the past. Wade, have you ever heard of a starter on an LB7 rattling itself the heck apart? I edited that for you.
Maybe if you've got something already going on with your flywheel that took the starter out, that chipped away at the bendings until it finally just you had some sort of an internal problem with the starter. That's really the only way I would have heard of it. Really, the starter on them the starters on the Duramaxes are damn tough starters. We just really don't see a whole lot of replacement on them. So if you've had a flywheel problem that's contributed to it, then I can see it.
All right, take a guess on what the next question is.
Air dog or fast? Which one is the best?
That was your first guess, and that was a good one.
Yeah. Was it close?
No, it's close in the right time.
How much horsepower can I throw at my stock transmission? Shit. Am I closer?
That was close. All right. I'll lead off with this first part because I like the first part of this question.
Sorry. I'm flustered. I can give you all a lead in about our show today. Me and Adam about half had one of our normal Adam and Wade arguments today because we set a hard go of, and I was just on the phone with this guy that it was having a problem with his tuner, and he was just it was just one of those situations that was going to take a little bit of finessing and some finagling to get through. And Adam was like, "We got a hard go time at 3 o'clock." I'm like, "Man, I don't know if I'm going to make it Sunday or not." I was like, "What a hard go time?" He's like, "I set it up in an email, dog." I was like, "Don't do that no more." and literally in here, something can go from, we can schedule something and we can say, "Okay, listen, we have to be here at this time," but absolutely anything can happen. A dog could run by the door and he could be choking on a fucking chicken bone or something like that, excuse my language, and you've got to give CPR to a dog or just anything. And it just sometimes the hard to start dates or times at Thoroughbred Diesel are really
Wade
just
doesn't like deadlines.
Soft, yeah.
Wade doesn't like hard deadlines.
Well, he
wants a soft deadline.
Yeah, a soft deadline.
I do too.
Yeah. So
that's why that's the only one we've ever done.
So I'm still recovering from that that exchange that Adam and I had. Like, don't ever do that again, man. It's terrible. It's terrible.
All right.
But go ahead.
Aaron wants to know where the beard went.
Nah, man, I had to shave the damn beard off because I couldn't keep my hands off my daggone face. I mean, I was doing this all the time, just no.
You also got where you couldn't see your neck anymore because it had gone down so far.
Yeah.
It was just like beard to collar.
Yeah. I got these daggone fat rolls on my chin, too, and it was covering up the fat rolls, so I might bring it back, but I just don't know in what format I'm going to bring it back in.
So on to the next part of Aaron's question. Is there any benefit to a 5-inch straight pipe over a 4-inch straight pipe?
No, there's really not. If you're above 700 or 800 horsepower, maybe there's a benefit to 5-inch versus 4-inch, in different turbo configurations. But none of that is going to be anything that's a seat of the pants feel that you change. You may have a drop in EGTs and whatnot. Really, sound is the thing. If you can stand the 5-inch sound, 5-inch on some trucks is quite a bit louder than 4-inch. If you can stand the 5-inch sound and 5-inch is what you want to go with 5-inch. But just be aware that on some trucks it's quite a bit louder than 4-inch.
2002 LB7, built tranny, edge chip, injectors need replaced. Wondering if I would benefit from oversized injectors, and if so, what size?
A light set of injectors would actually probably do a little bit to save you on fuel economy. Like a 15 to 30% over set of injectors would actually be just a little bit more efficient than stock. Well, just depending on the manufacturer and whatnot. We sell most all the major manufacturers, industrial, DDP, quite a few different ones. And if I forgot it, sorry that I was shooting from the hip there. But you might get just a little bit better fuel economy with proper tuning with those injectors. So don't just automatically think that putting a bigger set of injectors in, you're going to get worse fuel economy. I'm sure up to a certain threshold you may, but the way today's injectors are designed, most oversized injectors would probably pass an emissions test on the test bench anyway. So are you going to benefit from it? You're going to get a greater horsepower number. Truck may be a little bit more efficient and cleaner running as well.
Is the phone on?
The phone is on. 859-355-9002. Loud.
No, I'm struggling with my mic today a little bit. I'm trying to get it loud enough for both of us. I think I might have turned it down just a smidge too much on the front side.
859-355-9002.
There we go.
Phone number, call us in that.
Stephen wants to know, he said, sounds like dog CPR happens a lot around here.
There are a lot of animals running around this joint, no shit. That's no kidding, sorry.
What did we have to do?
I don't know why I'm cursing so much
What
today.
did we have to do that one time with rat poisoning a dog? Had to feed him peroxide or something like that?
Yeah, if you ever get a dog that you've got to make him throw up, you think he's gotten into something, you can give him quite a bit of hydrogen peroxide and they'll eventually puke. So, if you have a dog that gets into rat poison, if you catch him quick enough, I'm no veterinarian, I'm not telling to start funneling hydrogen peroxide down your dog's throat, I'm just telling you what the vet told us to do. Dog CPR around here, yeah, there's a lot of animals running around. Hey, we got a call.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Thoroughbreds this way can help you. Hello. Hang up, Ferguson. Thank you for calling. Might have been Ferguson, Missouri. Glad to see you guys are still available.
I clicked off the page too. The text message. All right, 2006 Dodge 2500. Is a second gen swap manifold really worth it?
Depends on the turbo that you're really wanting to go into. The second gen swap, the one thing that you're going to gain from it is it's going to orient the turbo kind of towards the middle of the motor a little bit, so it's not concentrating on the back half of the motor, so you don't have a heat concentration in that. That's just a small part of it. But the orientation of the turbos that you're wanting to use with the second gen swap 2 lends itself for easier installation if it's moved more towards the middle of the motor, so on and so forth. The second gen, just depending on what turbo that you're going to go with, there's a lot of different turbos out there, whatever your horsepower number is. So is a second gen swap worth it? I like it just because it gets the turbos oriented at more of a middle part of the motor. I think that your motor will be happier too. Opens you up to a whole plethora of different turbos that you change out, and you can also change them a little bit quicker and easier and faster in the orientation that it'll be with a second gen swap. So yes, it's definitely worth it.
I missed one up here earlier. Are you going to be at the ATS Dyno this weekend?
No, we're not going to be at Let It Roll, but everybody that's going out, be careful. Ryan texted me today, and I think there were 60 guys in the class. That's a huge class for them. So everybody that's out in Denver, have a good time. I guess tomorrow night, or will it be tomorrow night? Be tomorrow night or maybe Saturday night. I think they're going to go out to the comedy club. That's a good time too. You should definitely go to hear Tammy laugh, because when Tammy laughs, it's amazing. It is amazing.
What's the possibility of a 7.3 downpipe working on a 6.0 turbo stock turbo is also a stock downpipe off of the 7.3?
It won't. I don't think it will. In fact, I know it won't, because it's two different style flanges. Yeah, it's two different. I'm almost positive two different style flanges.
Why would someone want to do that?
I don't know.
Just because they have the pipe available?
Yeah, probably they've got one laying around the shop.
Corey Chapman, one of the CrossFit guys, wants to know what your favorite music is to train to. He says his is heavy metal for his lowers, gangster rap on uppers, and when he's doing Metcons.
What's a Metcon?
A Metcon, I wish I could explain to you what it was. It's a high-intensity workout of some sort.
Okay, when I'm doing...
Think circuit workout.
When I'm doing my workout sessions, I'm a big Slipknot. I'm a big Slipknot guy. That's probably what I train to the most is Slipknot and Mudvayne as well. I don't really get into gangster rap, but hey, knocking gangster rap to you. So on the other end of the spectrum, when I'm not doing as much cardio, so I'm not going as fast when I'm powerlifting, I'm listening to old country, because old country really puts me in the mindset of world domination, and world domination is the words that you want to use when you're powerlifting. So my cardio, I'm doing Slipknot and Mudvayne. My powerlifting, old country, of course, Waylon and Merle and Willie.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize to everybody for me coughing today, because this doesn't happen a lot. All right, I really like this question.
Corey, y'all need to get to work, bub. I mean, don't you have some CrossFit to
Not
do?
till 4.
Not till 4.
They're good till 4. This is their pregame to their next set of workouts.
Damn, I ruined my shirt.
Yeah. George wants to know, can you explain the measuring difference between percent over injectors and an added horsepower injector? I really like that question.
I really like that question too, and I wish I could give you a good educated answer. And this is another one of the countless times that I'm going to be missing my buddy Lenny today. Well, percent over is percent overflow that you're going to get per the stock number. So if the stock number runs 160 cc's, okay, and then you go to 170 cc flow at X amount of bar, that's a certain amount of percentage over. Most guys, the trend now is to go with percent over, because it's a hard number, is a percentage over that the nozzle will flow to the stock nozzle. So that's a hard number. The horsepower, some companies use a horsepower number. Those are real-time numbers that they get with a truck that is in good mechanical condition, and they know that, let's say, a 30% over horsepower, 30% over injector is I'm going to throw out a completely hypothetical number here, so that you all don't correlate the two. Let's say that a 30% over injector is a 200 horsepower increase. Companies will have hard data to back that up to know that their 30% overs or their X size is going to make 200 more horsepower. That's basically what it is. If you work inside the companies that do have horsepower ratings, they can always give you the hard number back as to what the percentage over is as well. So that's my answer for you. The percentage over is a percentage over increased flow from stock based on the honing differences, extrude honing, or whatever material removal process that the injector companies use to make it a larger orifice size or more holes, so on and so forth. It's going to flow X amount of much more than stock.
I think you did well on that.
Thank you.
All right. Ryan says, I have a truck in a shop right now that had a VP44 that kept running injectors, and wants to know your thoughts on that.
VP44 injectors being taken out is more than likely a fuel contamination issue. I don't know how in the world a VP44 would ruin an injector.
Oh, hang on. There's more to this. He's
Yeah.
commented some more. Called industrial, and they couldn't figure it out, so I replaced the VP with a P pump, and injectors are still making the truck smoke gray and run rough. Replaced injectors 3 times. It would run good for 20 miles, then run rough again.
Okay. So by running rough, is he saying that it smokes when it shouldn't, or if we're talking about incomplete combustion and smoking when it should, and so on and so forth? Ellie's been getting after me with that. She says so forth. So never mind, forget it. Have you checked compression on the motor? Let's start with compression. Have you checked compression on the motor? Do you know what your compression is? There's only so far that you're going to be able to go with that to figure out whether you've got good injectors or you don't have good injectors. It's a mechanical injector. It's got a pop-off pressure that's set to a certain amount. It either exceeds it. It either makes that pop-off pressure or it doesn't make that pop-off pressure. It's just that simple. There's nothing in the system that's magically going into the injectors that's wearing them out. So you're not necessarily having that problem. A good fresh set of sticks, because I don't know if you re-shim these and changed opening pressures or whatnot, and if it's been through quite a few different changes, you may just have a wore-out set of injectors. But I think now it's time to get it back to square one. You're going to first get a compression test on the motor all the way through, make sure everything is solid there, and then let's just start with a new set of injectors and go forward. That's all you can do. I mean, it's really all you can do. Try to get an analysis on why the injectors failed on the other ones. You'd want to probably send it off to somebody and have it microscoped and see what kind of if they're scoring inside the barrel and plunge, or if they're scoring inside of the plungers there. That would show either heat traces, lack of lubrication, or contaminant. Guys being hella technical today.
Okay, with the VP, it will smoke gray a lot, run extremely rough, popping at idle. It's P-pump now with new Dawn AM Mach 7s.
Yeah. Dawn F1s. Yeah, that's a good injector. That's a good injector. You're going to want to do a compression test on that motor. And I don't know what you've got your timing set at now either, too. So you could have a timing issue now. You could have something completely unrelated to an injector failure, which an injector failure, again, is very rare on a VP44 or on those series of injectors. And an injector failure by meaning, do they wear out? Yes, absolutely. Do they fail? Not as much. So you could have something completely unrelated now. It may have a timing issue.
Can not having a shutoff solenoid hooked up to a P-pump cause fuel to leak back and lose prime every time it shuts off?
No.
I don't know if I'm loading slow or what, but I'm not getting questions in soon enough today, so we'll wait on a few more to come in. But, guys, phone line's still open. We are giving away hats today to phone callers.
859-355-9002. We're giving away to phone callers, or we're just giving away to question, guys?
Well, I kind of want some phone calls, so we're going to give them away to phone calls.
I think we ought to give one to that poor old boy that's been through so much with the VP44s. I think he.
You know what, Ryan? Ryan Goley, we'll give you a hat, buddy.
You got a hat, man.
Message the Facebook page.
You got a whole lot going on. If there's something I can do to help you, man, give us a call. Ryan Gully.
Tyler asked if Chris had called yet, and he's right. Chris hasn't made his weekly phone call.
Hey, maybe there's Chris right there. Yeah. Thoroughbreds this way. Can I help you?
Okay, I called in a few times before. This is Zach Western.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
It's an odd one.
Uh-huh.
Out here in the Western Grand National Pulling Series circuit, about where they make their rounds,
Yeah.
And they don't allow anything but drop-in wheels on turbos for work stock.
For work stock, yeah.
What would you recommend to do?
That's kind of a catch-22 question. We have so many already pre-manufactured wheels. We carry Wicked Wheel from Diesel Site, which is a great wheel, good profile, and definitely going to get you an increase in flow in the sweet spot of the turbo's profile. We also carry Batmo Wheel. Batmo Wheel is a good product too. Between the two, I can't give an edge to one or the other. I think that you are going to get you're going to get a gain regardless of which manufacturer you go with, man. I'm sorry that I can't give you a manufacturer to go with. I think you just look at them and maybe flip a coin and pick one. But both of them are good. When you're doing work stock turbos as well, you can kind of think outside the box, because there's some companies, and I'm positive that Industrial will do this for you too. Industrial will do like an R&R program on your stock turbo, where you can get with them, send the turbo up to them, and they'll do a different profile wheel, maybe do some milling on the cover and so on, and send it back to you. And it's kind of a cheater turbo, I guess you could call it.
That was going to be my next question. I seen a company on Facebook by the name of Godspeed Turbo Innovation.
I saw that guy a couple of months ago, and he does really good work.
And he offers for the LD7, you send in your compressor housing for core.
Yeah.
And he will send you back a new shaft with compressor and turbine and a 64 millimeter compressor cover.
Yeah, and that may be the way to go. The good thing about the LB7s, and as an old truck puller, I can tell you the tech guys don't want to break down LB7s. Now, if they want to if they're on a bad night and somebody's already protested one guy, and you come into, sometimes you pull in on trailer and the tech guys have had enough. They're going to tell everybody to break them down, and they're going to take them all, and those are the bad nights. Those are, I'm not telling you to cheat, but those are the times that when you hone out the cover, that's when you're going to get caught doing it. Now, if you do a drop-in wheel, you're not going to have to make any cover modifications. So technically, if the rules say that you can do a drop-in wheel replacement, the drop-in wheel replacement will have to be done on an unchanged comp cover. So maybe one of the Batmo wheel or the diesel site wheel will be the better choice for you.
All right, just a kind of joke I had, because the LB7 Charger stock is 63 millimeters. The Fleece Cheetah is still a 63 millimeter Charger, and it does not really show anything on the outside to kind of tip them off that it would be rebuilt. Would you think I could probably get away with that?
Well, again, it's probably going to be one of these things where it's going to be something where it just depends on how far the tech guys want to go checking it. Plugging it, to be honest with you, I don't know that the comp cover is changed. I don't know that the comp cover's changed on that. In fact, Zach, I'll check on that and find out.
I mean, that's where the Cheetah name came from.
Part of the core is your mouthpiece, the turbo mouthpiece.
Yes.
So they would be able to see that's different.
Yeah. That shouldn't affect you. That shouldn't affect you in tech line. That shouldn't affect you in tech line.
Right. Yeah, I've never seen them. I've been down there 2 years now. They've been coming to town for 3, and I've been pulling or helping somebody pull for 2. And I've never actually seen them tech a work stock truck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know it, but like I said, all it takes is one guy to protest. The first guy to protest, that's when the tech guys will tell everybody break them down. I always dreaded it because I ran an LB7 too, and getting the mouthpiece off is a nightmare, especially when you're out truck pulling. It's the middle of the daggone night, and we usually wind up having to pull very last because they wanted to keep so many people in the stands. So, but yeah. I guess to kind of wrap it up, I think for safety's sake and tech reasons, I'd say you just go ahead and just do just a plain old drop-in wheel, man. I think that's going to keep you to where you don't have to worry about having any of your results thrown out or possibly being kicked out of the class.
All righty. Well, thank you.
Okay, man. Take care. We're going to send you a hat too.
I'll get with Zach.
You got it. Okay. All right. Adam's got you. We'll get you a hat going, man.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Thanks, sir. See you, man.
Bye.
Call.
Go after it.
Thoroughbred Diesel this way. Can I help you?
Yes, sir. I've got a 2017 Ford. I want to know what all you would do to it to get it up and going like it ought to,
Well, I tell you what, they're pretty trucks. It's a beautiful truck. The 2017 is a good looking platform. We offer a lot of different products. We have in stock form. We have air intakes. We have DPF back exhaust. We have small performance enhancer modules like TS Performance. There's several other downloaders out there that are coming right now that are going to be emission compliant stuff for the 2017s. That will get you another 50, 65 horsepower that are going to make the truck run really, really well.
Well, emissions I'm not really worried about.
Right.
To be honest. I mean,
yeah.
The DPF and the EGRs and all, I just it wasn't there.
I understand.
For the truck to last.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, and it's a great motor. They've had really good luck out of the 6.7 motor. I think that you're going to like it exactly in the form that it is now. The emission system on it is actually really, really is very, very efficient. Really not a need to go, put a huge dollar amount into pulling all that stuff off of your truck and so on and so forth. We can't advise you on that on the show today, but just for a little bit of an upgrade, 50 to 65 horsepower, we can totally get that taken care of for me. Several different products.
Okay.
Hang on. Yes, sir. I'm going to mute this. Hold on just a second. I had to mute the microphone there because Randall, we need to get his telephone number and give him a call. So, all right. If anybody else, I think we're going to shut the phone line down.
For a second.
We're going to shut the phone line down today.
We got
back
a few
to
questions. How much time we got? Where we at?
It's 3:28.
Okay. Good. All right. That one tickled you, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Thoughts on a boost fuller for a 2001 7.3? No tuner or anything, just has a straight pipe. It's always done.
It's going to keep you from having the overboost code that's common in the 7.3, so I definitely suggest it. You'll like that.
Explain how a boost fuller works, because we get that question a whole lot. People think that they're going to feel it immediately.
Yeah, well, it's a fueling. What does ATS call them? A fueling modifier, fueling regulator, fueling modifier. I can't remember what ATS calls, but what it is it's changing the map signal going into the map, and what that does is at certain pedal positions, it's actually going to give you a little bit more fueling than you would have in your stock calibration. That's why you're going to get a little snappier throttle response. Also, inside of that, it's inherent for the fuel control modules or the boost fuelers. It's inherent inside of them to change the map number that's actually being read by the ECM. So it's also going to keep you from tripping an overboost code. So two things that it does, it actually works because it does change your fueling profile, and it also will keep you from tripping an overboost code. So good product.
16 Ram. Hearing a lot of chatter on the web about the 6.7 Cummins needing head studs, even in stock form. Any insight as to why they need that?
The turbo is hugely inefficient. Hugely inefficient. A lot of customers want to drive around with their exhaust brake on all the time. That is going to throw the drive pressure into a whole different area code. It's going to be putting a lot more back pressure on the motor, and you're going to have quicker head gasket failures. Yes, we do suggest that you do, if you are going to be one of those people that just does not want to turn your exhaust brake off, we do suggest that you do head studs on the truck, and possibly even a turbo upgrade to put it in a more efficient turbo that it doesn't have quite the back pressure that the stock HE351 does. So yes, the turbo is what causes it. If you've got a 16, turn your exhaust brake off while you're driving. Just drive around town normal. If you hook to a low, then have your exhaust brake on. Give your engine a break.
Well, here's the one you said from earlier. What is the most horsepower you would recommend adding onto a stock transmission in my 2008 Duramax using EFI Live?
If your tunes are set for stock transmission, if you reached out to your tuner and you let them know that, hey, you do not have anything done to your transmission, you're probably safe up to driving it like a normal human being. We say this all the time, ad nauseum. You can tear up a perfectly good transmission with stock horsepower. It's all how you drive it. So there's not a number. Anything above 100 horsepower, I'm gonna go low. Anything above 100 horsepower, any performance modifications you're going to do that are above 100 horsepower, I would think about not doing those performance modifications until you can upgrade your transmission in some form or fashion. There it is. It's 100 horsepower. That's the number we're going to use from now on.
That's kind of an idiot-proof horsepower
That's an
number.
idiot-proof number.
Yeah.
That's an idiot-proof number, but again, it all depends on how you drive the vehicle. I mean, if you...
Crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Yeah, crazy people don't know they're crazy.
What's your thoughts on the PPE race plug for the common rail fuel system?
Before we go any farther, did you see the Facebook thing and talking about chicks and how they were crazy and the hot scale?
Yeah, Bub, that was from
to the crazy. Oh yeah. No, it's from a long time ago, but let's revisit it. So you've got the hot scale and you've got the crazy scale. So if they're like a 2 on the hot scale and like a 8 on the crazy scale, that's a no-go zone.
Yeah.
But if it's like it's a dude at some point, you know what I mean? On the other end of the spectrum, it's like you're talking to a dude.
It was what was it? It was
awesome.
If it was super hot and then it was super cool above a certain point.
Yeah, you're talking to a dude.
That was a dude. Is what they said. But if you got above like a 4 in hotness, then that was a unicorn.
Yeah.
And they asked you to catch it for safekeeping.
Yeah.
And then did you see the follow up one? They did how the girls respond to the dudes, and instead of being hot and crazy, it was attractive and how much money you had.
Well, that's good because I don't have either one.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
It's a personality thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's absolutely right. Sorry.
That's all right. You made me cough again. All right. Let's go back to the PPE race plug.
Race plugs are a good idea, especially if you're tripping a rail code. If you've got an 04.5 and up Duramax, 04.5 to 10 Duramax. If you've got a 7.5 to 9 or 10 Dodge before they change the rail plug in them, and you're tripping the low rail. It's one of the first things that you're going to want to do. That or a shim kit.
Will you explain what the rail plug is? Because I think a lot of people don't know what the rail plug is.
The rail plug is
the stock rail plug.
Yeah. So you've got a cascade valve in common rails, and the cascade valve up to X amount of pressure, it will trip. You will actuate it. It's mechanical. You will actuate it mechanically, and the valve itself is going to let fuel by. So I got one right here. So this is a stock one.
Just for those of you watching, Wade has a drawer in his desk, a couple of them, and it works about like the Barney bag does. He can just reach in and find exactly what he needs. So
these fuel valves, or cascade valves, I think is the proper terminology on them. Once they are compromised, once you've tripped them, once you've hit them with 28,000 psi, the elasticity of it is actually compromised, and the valve itself inherently becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. So what is a race plug? A race plug is a solid slug. There's no actuation to this, so there is no relief on the rail. It's either got to go out the business end of the injectors or it's not going anywhere. The rail needs to have relief for whatever reason. There has to be a relief. We really actually suggest that our customers do a shim kit because a shim kit will actually give you some relief. If you hit 30, 32,000, these are completely hypothetical numbers. You're going to get a little bit of relief. The rail can get some relief. The race plug, if you decide to do that, just understand that you're coming into you're coming into a mode of not having any fuel relief. So, if you're tripping a low fuel rail pressure code, that's probably one of the reasons. One of the ways to start is to start working on your relief valve.
You all right?
I'm good, man.
All right.
I'm good.
2001 7.3. What should I do to improve mileage and power from street and towing use, but still be reliable as stock?
As reliable as stock, a light tuner is going to be really good for you. That's not going to change your reliability of the truck. So you want to do the Trinity. You want to do air intake, exhaust, and you also want to do a programmer of some sort. Several ones we have. I like Super Chips on 7.3s. It's a very good tune. The old Super Chips tuners on 7.3s great.
Were sweet,
they were
man.
awesome. Same tune that's in the flashbacks now. TS6 position. We offer several different products for the 7.3. So those three things: intake, exhaust, chip. You should be fine.
How much will an intercooler cool down an 01 Cummins? Says he's got plenty of mods.
Different manufacturers are giving you different deltas on that.
Deltas meaning changing
changing the temperature between in and out. So I think they say a couple hundred degrees is what they shoot for in temperature pre and post intercooler. So
What point in someone's build should they start considering an intercooler?
I think you start chipping at it really when you're reaching at horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it more like a racing thing? Is it something, maybe your everyday driver isn't going to need one with
I don't think
normal stuff, or is it more like, hey, if you're drag racing or sled pulling, you should definitely have one?
That's actually a good question. I don't think really that it's as much going for a different horsepower number. It's when you're reaching for different horsepower gains, when you're going to 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower. You have to do the things around. Your vehicle to keep them safe. And an intercooler is just doing that. It's getting your EGTs down, and it's giving you a good, cooler, denser air charge that's going to help you make a little bit more horsepower as an added bonus of it. So what is the level somebody needs to start doing it? It's a good thing on even a stock vehicle, but especially a truck that's anything over 500 or 600 horsepower. When you're reaching those type of horsepower levels, all it's going to do is help you,
Installed a Fast 150 lift pump on my truck, and I wanted to know if all lift pumps are so darn loud.
How you mounted it has got a lot to do with that. How you mounted it. Did you fabricate any brackets? Is it rattling? The fastest are very quiet. The air dogs are too. I don't necessarily know where you mounted it and how you mounted it, and that could be causing a lot of your sound problems. So no, they're not loud. If you are getting increased sound out of it, if you just mounted it to the frame rail and you did everything by the book, and the pump is loud, like you're getting a change in pitch, like that, you may be getting air intrusion, so you might want to go back through your install.
2006 Dodge. He has installed new injectors, rail, and feed tubes, and also has tuned it with EFI Live and has a Fast 150. He's been having little white and black smoke at idle, and it's getting harder and harder to start. All of these symptoms were present before he changed all of the fuel components.
Okay. Compression. I'd like to know what your original failure was and the reason why you put injectors in the truck in the first place. I would do a compression test on the motor. We talk about this a lot. 5.9 common rails is very easily for you to have an injector failure that could cause you to have a cylinder go down. Cylinder wash, ring wash. So what I would do now is I would probably go ahead and pull the truck down and do a compression test on it, or have someone do a compression test on it, and know where you're at as far as your motor goes. From there, if you've got a good compression, everything's good on the motor, let's go back through our feed tubes, and then in fact we may even have to pull the injectors back out and check the injectors themselves. But I think that you might be looking at a motor down situation, possibly. I hope that's not the case, man.
2007 5.9, backfire on cold start and on acceleration. Puff of bluish white smoke every time it backfires. Factory tuning, brand new injectors retested to verify that they were good. CP3 tested good. Wiring harness for injectors tested good. Can't figure it out. Shop says could be bad ECU. Where would you be looking next to figure out this problem?
That's if you are 100% certain that this is not an injector problem. If it's not a control valve problem in the injectors, then I'm with them. It's got to be an ECU problem. It absolutely has to be. You verified your tuning. You verified the CP3. You verified the injectors. The only thing in the fuel injection components that are left that would cause a backfire in that regard is ECU, is a scramble tune.
To swap in a 47 RE or a 48 RE on 1,000 horsepower 5.904. It's a 4x4.
Mm-hmm.
It's manual now.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say. It should have had a...
Also, I didn't read this part. Going to install a reverse manual valve body and upgrade all the internals.
Yeah, so manual valve body, you're good to go there. So I don't know what this question there. What's it going to take to do it? I mean, you've already know you're going to have to do a manual valve body.
No. 47 RE or 48 RE.
48. I mean, really not a big difference between the two. I mean, in fact, nothing. I mean, you're going with a manual valve body anyway, so it's not. No, you do 47 then, because 48 would have had the throttle valve control. So you're not getting that. You're not changing ECM. You're not changing the wiring harness. So 47 with the manual full manual valve body.
What's our time like?
3:42.
Okay, let's do this last one. I really like this question, and then we'll shut her down.
Shut her down.
Can you explain how a ball bearing turbo works versus a VGT turbo?
The two of them are not the same comparison. So let's talk about what a ball bearing turbo is versus a journal bearing turbo. So a journal bearing turbo is what 90% of the turbos out here today are. They're journal bearings, and the journal bearing is a brass bearing. I guess there can be some of them that are other materials, and they actually float inside a chamber of oil. So oil pressure suspends the journal bearing, and that is what your shaft turns. Your shaft turns inside of the journal bearing. The oil creates the skim or the film that the journal bearing itself rides in, and everything's happy. Ball bearing turbo is a ball bearing turbo. It has a ball bearing that the input shaft or that the impeller shaft goes through, and it totally rides that. Now there is still oil pressure inside the turbo to cool the bearing, but it is not dependent upon it as far as the journal bearings go, because the journal bearing actually floats inside of the oil pressure. So that's why you can tell on a journal bearing turbo when the truck is not on. And you grab the impeller wheel, the slack that's in the impeller on X, Y, and Z axis, that is the journal bearing. Once that turbo is under oil pressure, that will tighten up and go away. Don't stick your hands in the truck when the truck's running. So that's kind of an explanation of journal bearings versus ball bearings. VGT turbo has a vane aftermarket section on the turbine wheel that creates a different profile around the turbine wheel that it aids in exhaust braking.
What's a vane?
Well, some turbos have a unison ring system in it, and they have just a little hook, and all of these change the turbine profile. There'll be 8 or 9 of them, or 10 or 12 of them. So there's different setups for these, but this will essentially, like a louver system, you can think of it as like a louver on a window or something like that. It opens the orifice and it closes the orifice, for lack of better words. That's the easiest way to explain it. It makes the hole smaller, or it makes the hole bigger. If you've got VGT, if all the vanes are open, then you have less back pressure on the turbine wheel. So the turbo is allowed. It's at full rest. The turbo is allowed to breathe perfectly. That's where you're at when you're on top of it on throttle. When you're at low boost, you have the vanes are closed, and that will let the turbo come up on boost quicker, and you will have better throttle response. Truck will be much more snappier. It'll warm up faster, and it also aids in the downhill braking when you're going down a hill or something like that. And that's kind of a rough way to explain it, but that's what VGT basically is. So VGT has nothing to do with what type of bearings are in the turbo, I guess.
Okay. All right, guys. I feel like we had a lot of people that didn't.
We worked our butt off today.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions today.
Yeah.
Good questions.
Yeah,
I really it was a very technical day. We didn't get there was a lot of people that we asked follow-up tos that you didn't get to respond, or we didn't get to do it. So message the page, and Wade and I will work on getting you answered, or getting somebody to give you a call and take care of you. So.
Yeah, and I'll let Adam give the last one away to whatever guy that he chooses.
Yeah, we'll
on
figure
that
it out
one.
and give it out. So
yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. Tell them bye, Wade.
Bye, Wade. Thanks, guys.